I'll go through all these points about the game. But first of all, I need to say two things. One, Zwane is making it really difficult for us who are saying he should be given an opportunity to defend him, because the decisions that he makes at times, they just make us look stupid for defending him. Secondly, I said this thing before the game started, Uguti. If Arrows tries to attack us, they will leave spaces behind their own defense, which will make us advantageous in terms of hitting them on counter attacks. And what do you know? We got opportunities after opportunities to a point that we had 16 shots but only 4 on target. And we'll talk about those chances individually. Hello and welcome to Kosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo. I'm your host and I'm very disappointed in this thing that I just watched. Because we thought the biggest worry for us was going to be the fact that Udube is playing after not being used for like almost a year in that Kaizer Chiefs team. But it turns out he wasn't the biggest problem. He wasn't. He was nowhere near to being the biggest problem. In fact, someone who seemed to struggle with regards to the starting 11 is Ungezana, because they were not playing on that right side. They were just not playing. They were attacking him and they were not afraid of attacking him on that right side. Olunga, they were just attacking Ungezana and he was struggling in a way. But otherwise, the other thing about the starting 11 set, we said this again, at Zwane, Christian Sahil plays better as a winger. Once you play him as a number 9, he disappears and you don't see him in a game. Because a player like that has a pace, has a dribbling ability, and he can take on players. If you play him through the middle, you are limiting him. And what ends up happening is you end up subbing him because he's not effective. But he's not effective because you are not putting him in a situation where he can be effective. As such, the player ends up being subbed. And obviously, we started like house on fire. Like I was like, okay, we're picking up where we left off against Maritzburg United. We're pressing them. And there was the opportunity that came before the goal where we pressured the keeper who made a mistake. And then there was a pass that was open to the left and it didn't make that pass. And it was one of the series of many passes or many bad choices that we made when we got the chances, when we like overturned the ball and overturned the position to us. It was just one of many mistakes that we made. And earlier on I posted a shot like defending Woods is not overrated. Okay, fine. He might not be overrated, but he's definitely costing us and it's time for him to sit on the bench. And so Kuluma Zwane himself on his own on a contribution to this whole mess. But the next thing, on the 7th minute, I think that was a bit scary because Udube, no keeper, they clashed and we were like, oh no. Already we are saying we are going to have ink with our goalkeeper, not Dube because he hasn't played, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't a big deal. It was just a once-off. And then we score a corner with Uhlanti, who, by the way, like in the first half, I was ready to even say, oh, wow, I'm going to have to talk about Uhlanti. Because in the first half, he was much better. Even defending, even going forward, even passing the ball. Because I think after that, there was the ball that he played over the top that got Udoli and then it hit the post. We don't see Hlanti play those diagonal balls. But today he did that. He played a mabola that were dangerous and he was trying better than usual. And I don't know, this mentality better, I have to say it. Even after scoring the goal, it's like it's 5-0. It's like we're winning 5-0 all of a sudden, or Peterson. Like, why? I'm not saying Peterson shouldn't play, but it's the second time that I see him do this thing. Like, we are leading 1-0 and he's already doing this thing as if it's the 94th minute of 5 additional minutes. It's like Utoli Bola and then he plays around and then he for time wasting. How are you time wasting on the 12th minute? Like, it just tells you in mentality yoguthi now we're just trying to run the clock down. Uwina ngo 1-0 guys. And vele mentality yabo bonke labadlali labo ukuthi we score one goal and then we just drop yonke into. We are no longer pressing, we are no longer as aggressive going forward, we just dropped off. And it's not the first time that we do this. We've done it before. Against the Arrows we got away with it, against the Chiefs we didn't get away with it, but every time each Chiefs scores first, then they just drop off and disappear. Why? It's 1-0. Like 1-0 you cannot guarantee, 2-0 you cannot guarantee. After 3 goals you may start relaxing, but now corner you are playing in a league that in the previous season we lost out on playing in Africa because of a goal difference. And then when this season, after going 1 goal ahead, you're already wasting his card. And you're already relaxed because seswinile phela sidlala ne-Arrows. Ngitsayidla ngo-2-0 ngoDecember. So now it's time to relax. Hoorah. Ay, suka. And then the chance that I talked about, Udoli hits the bar. Duba makes that good save, tackle in our box. It was good. It was still like, yeah, they are doing well. And Khona nala umthizwa where I was about to score, and then Hlanti again, as I said, slid in and he made a save. Then the next thing that happened is that Ipola is played wide for Ikole Arrows. Ipola is played wide, and then Vele Ungezana lapha, I wouldn't blame him that much. But the moment the ball is played into the box, it hits Ukwinika. And what does it do? The leader, the experienced player, what does he do? Instead of closing down the player with the ball, he's raising his hand. Ukuthi kube njani? Ukhomba ini? Like he's pointing. Makumuntu kunomuntu phambi kwakho. There is like literally a human being with a ball who's about to cross it into the 18 area, and when you are busy pointing, he's in front of you. He's your responsibility. No, he's pointing and pointing and pointing and pointing. He plays the ball across, and Umat Umat, he's too complacent. Umati, the ball is played across, he loses his man, and now Udube has to deal with Umtizwa no Makaul. Uduba while he's still dealing with Umtizwa is playing the ball for Makaula gets the ball, he shoots, it's a goal. Umartulele, Kwinika is not marking the person that is supposed to mark. How are we not going to concede in our own 18 area? How do you switch off? And then you guys come here and tell me we need experience yani sidliswa yibo abadlali aba-experienced. Uma ube experienced edlala kwisekhukhune ungeke ungitshela ukuthi a player like uKwinika is not experienced ubuya ku-Stellenbosch being the defender of the season. You cannot be telling me that those players are not experienced. Yibo kodwa abazidlisayo. And yet people are always about experience. And don't tell me you needed Matoho, because last season when we played against Arrows, it was Matoho who lost the ball and then we ended up conceding. So this thing here, experience, is just overrated. It's just overrated. And I'm sorry, and maybe that's not good for your taste, but I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan who just happens to be very mad at telling these guys are going to go out, drink us week in, week out. You are leading a freaking game, and when you go, you lose it. Why? Because you are leading 1-0. Segment will relax. I suck. Second half, Usaele seemed to be playing as a right wing, which was better because then he wasn't always easily tracked by defenders. Ukuthi yini, that wasn't the case in the first half. Mbobu Zwane. Phela bethu mina ngina coaching license. I don't have a coaching license. Mandla. Obani, Wotiyo, a lot of guys in this channel, we've been saying this. This guy should play as a winger. Ompo, he should be playing as a winger. But a coach of the biggest team in South Africa can spot Uguti, this player should be played as a winger. Like, Ubona second half, you must make that change. Perfect. Zwane is not. And another thing, we get another chance. One of those balls again in behind. Get a ball, Umat again tries to shoot. There is an option. There's a person running with back post. Is he trying to pick him? No, he's trying to shoot. He misses. Fortunately for him, a minute later, the defender makes a mistake and then Umdu capitalizes, which is a good thing for a player. Yoguti. If the team that you are playing against makes a mistake, you capitalize on it. Which was good. And we're like, yay, Chiefs is back. And then they go ahead. They're like, siya win. And then we see the same antics from Peterson. Sebambi bola, uselindi bola libe phambi kwakhe, and then when a striker comes close, he picks the ball up. Yeah, it's 90 plus 4 minutes. Get to 5 minutes. We're already wasting time. It's around the 50th minute. He did it on the 12th, did it on the 15th. Now he's doing it on the 50th minute. Move the ball. We are leading, not winning. There is no time where you have a 1-goal advantage where you are relaxing. Especially when you still have an upper hand. Because this thing, yokba complacent, yokba relaxed, is the reason why the Arrows were able to come back and attack us. And the next thing again, we get it review 1, Udupri, Konusail, and Konumdu. He doesn't see them. He chooses to go by himself. Another chance again. Remember, Egamat. Remember, Lefuti Ashley Manj. Why are we not? Like, he gets the ball. He doesn't even care to look up and check who else is there. Professional football. Aye, guys. Sometimes these players are just a disgrace. They are just a disgrace now. Like, how? Aye, guys, no. No. You can't excuse it, especially if Matt is going to do it more than 3 times and then Udupri does it. We'll talk again. There's later where Umdu does it. There's again who Sahil did it. Easily 5-3, the game could have ended. Let's just say we conceded the goals, but we could still have scored 5 or 6 goals if players were not selfish. Next thing is Peterson, we are saver. There was a good save by Peterson, and then what's this thing? After Udube had lost the ball, and then he also tackled and made up for his mistake. So that's not a big deal. He bailed himself out. And then another thing is Usail. The next one is Usail pulls the defender off the ball, and then there's Umtu. Instead of passing Umtu, he tries to go by himself. Again, Agapek. Why is everyone just desperate to become a star in this team? Please like the video. And next one, Shabalala misses again. He could have passed the ball. Waqala kuzwane. It's the 67th minute. Waqala uzwane. You are playing against a team that is clearly and obviously attacking you because they are not scared of you. They are leaving a lot of space behind your defense, right? Their own defense, which means you need a pacey player, right? Wenzani uzwane? He brings in Ukelebe Menyeman, the guy who does not have pace. The guy who does not know how to make the right moves into the right spaces. You are bringing that player on to do what? Uzokwenzani uKelebe egameni? You literally have Uduba ebenchini, who is quicker than Ukelebe, who could exploit those spaces better. In this game, you could even have brought on Ukelebe earlier. Okay, let's fine. Let's say you don't want to bring in Uduba. Okay, fine. Keep Uduba on the bench, but bring in Usekhot because there is a space behind a defender, and they were leaving it. And if you bring in a pacey player like Usekhota at that time in the game, what you are doing, you are effectively forcing the Arrows to sit back because they know what they will have to deal with the pace Kasehot. No, we bring the slowest player that we have at Chiefs, Upimenyiman. Oh no, we're not done. So we need control in our midfield, right? Because errors were just going through us at that point. So the question is, why then not sub a midfielder? Because it's clear that the midfielder is one of your midfielders is tired. Ustebe by the end of the game was cramping. When the sub Gamashiane later on was made, Umad was cramping. Clearly, those guys are tired. Why not change them? Why not take out one of them? Because it's like it's always rehearsed. The first sub is going to be Umdu. It doesn't matter whether the boy is performing or underperforming. Umdu is always gonna be subbed. It's like it's easy for Zwane to just say Umdu mncane so I can sub him. Even if the boy is still running around chasing, closing people down. No, Umdu kumele aphume ngoba mncane. Sibashiyo Sithebe, sibashiyo Mathi. Sithebe ubengabuzi, but simshiyo Mathi noma engenzi lutho egamini. Because ingane le singayikhipha and he won't be offended by that. Phela kushuthi wena sing ama feelings ama experienced players and then ingane siyayikhipha. Ukhishelwane. Because if there is an opportunity, if there is space, if there is space behind a defender, he's the one who's going to run between that. If there is a person who can get the ball and be comfortable on the ball and take on the defender arrows, it's going to be Umdu. You take out Umdu for who? For Unange. I'm not opposed to the idea of bringing on Unange to solidify midfield yet. But I'm opposed to the idea of you then keep the other guys who are literally playing almost like him. Because Umad no Sebi, for being honest, but right? So keep one of them and bring on your Nangek. But Umdu angazu kishelwan. I cannot tell you. I honestly can't tell you. And then Usail, we are Puma for Caleb. Again, Usail is a victim. Yoguti, you are not playing him in the right place. Now, you are basically telling Arrows, let's go, attack us, Arrows. Now, we have taken out our pacey winger, who is also very aggressive. We have also taken out our pacey number 10, who's also very good on the ball. We are bringing someone who's going to help us defend for the next 23 minutes, I guess, Unang. And we are also bringing in the slowest player who does not know how to avail himself, Upimenyiman. Poor. We are better off keeping the same team than bringing on those two as subs for the people that they took out. Then we move on. Across the baller, Uhlanti Gatengemncoma earlier on, he heads the ball poorly. I don't know whether he was trying to play the ball to the person who was at the edge of the box. Again, instead of pressing Umtizwa, he doesn't press him. He just backs off. And funny enough, this is what Umtizwa says. Excuse me. We interview Ake post-match. He says, I saw them backing off, so I took a shot. Second goal, I did the same thing. He literally says, Uguti, the defender is not pressing me. Ngiyashaya. 18 usahlehlela ukuyaphi. Usahlehlela ukuyaphi 18. Because you say 18. One of the two things could happen. This guy could play the cutback to his 6 yard, or he could shoot. So when as a defender, what's the logical thing to do? Make sure that you block the pass into the 6 yard area. But now Umtizwa is already on his strong foot. So vele kushuthi the priority is for him to shoot. No, asimpress thina sine experience. Nayabo experience yenzani? I press. Anga press. Shoot umuntu angena igoli. Experience yen Marcos. Then on the 77th minute, Dupree comes out for 2kg. Who's out of confidence. And at that time, I see Matt is stretching there. I'm like, Zwane is going to surely delay the sub and add someone else. Or keep it Dupree, better still. Keep it Dupree, take out to Matt. He's tired. At least to Dupree, you still know he's going to work hard. Nope. Tina, we have rehearsed subs. kunabadlali siyazi ukuthi soshintsha ngo67 soshintsha ngo77, then we're going to sub the same players. Doesn't matter whether they are performing, doesn't matter whether they are tired. When the time comes, we're making those subs. To hell with what everyone else thinks. And then after UKG comes on, Umakubela just runs with the ball through them. Akumbula the same thing that happened against Sundowns, where we ended up people blaming Zwane. Hayi Zwane is too young for this game. Naba udlule phambi kwabo bonke abadlali. Not one of them thinks of fouling him. Foul him outside the box. Foul him, mhlabe. Makukuthi kanjani ungamphuli. Mhlabe. I would never allow a player to run through us like that. Mina bengidlala ibhola na last year ngisese South Africa. Bengeke umdlala vela gijime nje kanje phambi kwami. Team yami ongene nje 18 kilikiti 18. The next thing you know, we're conceding another goal. Uhlabana umuntu angangene 18 neball. Abamiyeka ungena 18 neball. Oh, and then uMashiyane, the player that performed very well in the previous game, again asimfaki. We only bring him on masesibona ukuthi uDoli, who has not been present kwi second half, sekumele simkhiphe naye. uDoli ukhishwa ngoba sekuphoqa isimo njalo. Why do we need to wait so long to take out uDoli even when he's not giving us anything? First half, sure, there was something. Second half, nothing. But ngoba uDoli, we'll keep him. And at that time, yeah, that was the time where he was clearly cramping. But no, we want to keep him. Why? Just because. Thank you for watching. Avela wathi even when I'm sad, I should say remember. Until next time, because aliphela umoya.